Hey, Julian, Kevin, nice to see you guys. So we're here just talking about the concert this coming Saturday. Our audience is really looking forward to it. And so I just wanted to, chat with you guys and see what's going on. Kevin Crawford from Luna. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, my favorite pastime, telling people about myself. It's very exciting for us too to be heading back to the Baltimore area to do this collaboration with the orchestra and Julian. I am from the west of Ireland originally, and I am now ensconced in upstate New York. I've traded in the hills of County Clare for the Hudson Valley. Yeah, and I've been playing music, Irish music, pretty much all of my life. My parents were not musicians, but they were crazy fanatics about Irish music and Irish culture, and they instilled a love of both of those things in me. And I was hungry to kind of pursue both of those things. I grew up in England. I was born in England from my sins. So it was an even bigger challenge to actually become immersed in the tradition. But when I was 16 or 17, kind of that age, I went on the journey myself, and I went to Ireland, and I lived with some of my other kind of family there, uncles, and just really went on a kind of a search and a mission to get deep into the music. And I lived there then up until 8 years ago. So
And
it's
I see you
quite a
got your
journey.
instrument with you. You want to tell us about that?
It's an extension of myself now. It's like another limb. Yeah, this is actually, I was just doing some teaching, so I still had it in my hand. We call them Irish flutes now, but they were originally the classical flute of their day, and the reason they became kind of used in Irish music was when the bone system flute started to be made and became popular. All of these were made redundant, and somebody discovered that with the six open holes are the same pretty much as the penny whistle, which was always a kind of a staple of the Irish kind of instrument tradition. So people just thought, if we just get one of these and play like a penny whistle and blow it like a flute, you'll get a bigger sound. And that was the basic kind of start. But then people discovered that you can actually do all sorts of fancy things with the keys and go chromatic and play minor tunes and play darker tunes and brighter tunes and all of those things. So yeah, this is a modern day equivalent. It's my teaching flute. So it's made of plastic, would you believe? Because traditionally this is my good flute, and it's wooden. It's made of African cocos wood. It's got silver keys. This one is plastic, and it's got copper keys. But that's it. But they sound the same. It's like do the same thing. Anyway.
Very cool. Julian, how did you and Kevin meet, and what have you done project wise and performance wise in the past?
So my encountering Irish music goes back to about, I think, about 10 years ago. At the time, there was this Irish couple renting an apartment from my family, and it was the family of the piper Tiernan O'Dunishin. So we met in France, actually. And one night, Brian Vallely, the father of Killian, the piper of the band, came over for dinner. And beyond like the discussion, we started to talk about Irish music. A few months later, on my way back to the US from France, I just happened to take a flight through Dublin, and there was a layover built in, so I decided to extend the layover by a few days. And Tiernan said, "Oh, I have a family for you to stay with," and it was the Smith, Rosie, and I can't remember his name,
Tom.
and Tom, and they were very versed in Irish music. All of their kids played traditional Irish music, and one night around the dinner table, Cillian comes over, the piper from Lunasa, and I'm here mesmerized with the whole family playing Irish music around the table, and then they tell me this phrase I always remember. They tell me, Julien, Cillian is gonna play a slow I understood later that it was a slow air, and I heard Cillian play, and I was transfixed. And at that point, I always had great attraction to world music in general, but I had never had direct encounter with traditional Irish music. So I remember my son was about 10 years old at the time, and he saw all this music going on in the house and everybody playing, and he told me, "Dad, I want to be Irish." And there was this great love for the traditional Irish music that came on. So after that, I did a couple of concerts we did together with the Mid-Atlantic Symphony, with Cillian, his brother Neil, playing concertina, and with the same sort of arrangements. And then finally we got to invite the whole Lunasa band to play with the Chesapeake Youth Symphony. And it was just such a terrific experience. The kids just fell in love with it. And since then, I've been really listening to a lot of Lunasa, and I'm just very excited that we get to do this again.
Oh, that's a great story. I had forgotten certain aspects of your journey into the music, so that was lovely to be reminded of that. That's incredible how such a social event can turn into something to do, with work and music and, the other side of the world, America, which is great.
Yeah.
And both Julien and Kevin, tell me how you both came to love and perform this traditional Irish music. A little history there.
Well, like I said, my folks they came from a part of now in Ireland, things have changed so much, and because music is accessible in different ways now, streaming and online, and even before that, the availability of CDs and radio. Back when my parents were young in the 40s, they just had what was around them to entertain them. And luckily, where they came from in County Clare, it was a stronghold for traditional Irish music. If you move 20 miles to the town, the biggest town in Clare, which was Ennis, at that time there was no music. So it was just pure luck that where they came from, it was a hotbed for traditional Irish music. And some of the greatest composers in Irish music came from within the 3 or 4 or 5 mile radius of where my parents were from. Junior Crehan, Bobby Casey, John Kelly, Willie Clancy, all of these names synonymous with Irish music now, they lived in the same little townland as my parents. So that was luck. And it was almost fate that happened. And then I'm the youngest of 4 children. None of my siblings had any interest in the music. But for some reason, I feel that I got all of their love for the music as well. I had enough love for the Irish music for the 4 of us. And I went on this journey, and it's still the same. Honestly, it's my life's work. I wake up every day and I teach it, or I seek out good music. I'm always listening, and it's been the most amazing privilege, incredible.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so, just one last question. What does our audience have in store for them this Saturday? What should they be looking for, and what should they be excited about?
Julien, you would have a better kind of overview.
I mean, here's the thing, when you hear Irish music, Irish traditional music, and acoustic music in particular, is something that is so different live than it is on a recording. Yes, you can hear Lunasa's recording. They are fun to listen to, but hearing them live is, I would say, is a completely different experience. it doesn't sound remotely the same. I would say it is true for any music that live music is going to be better, but I think in the case of traditional Irish music, it is extreme how much better it is live. So I would say to the audience, yeah, of course you could stay home and listen to a recording, but it just is not the same at all.
Yeah.
And when I try to, you know, Kevin, over the years, I've tried to propose Luna's to different orchestras, and when I send a recording, the response is usually tepid, and then once they hear it live, they're like, oh, okay, I get it, you know. So I would say don't pass up the chance to hear this music live, because it's a world unto itself, and it's unforgettable experience. And to add to all their beautiful playing, they're all of Kevin's comments during the concert that are hilarious and engaging. And Kevin is really a master showman in keeping the audience abreast and keeping them excited through the performance. So it's really a unique event, and having the kids from the youth orchestra really engaged and participating in this is something. It's a once in a lifetime kind of performance that they will see. I can tell you that everybody that has heard the concert a few years ago when we did it, you know, still remembers it, and everybody that's going to see the concert this Saturday is going to remember it for a long time.
I can tell you, I'm personally excited. I got to perform with the Mid-Atlantic Symphony, as you were talking about, Julien, on that one time, but not with the full band. So I'm very, very excited to see it myself. So
yeah,
we're
gonna have a great one. That's brilliant. Thank you.
Well, listen, you guys, thank you. I look forward, like I just said, to seeing you on Saturday, and it's going to be great.
Great.
Excellent. Great to see you both. Thanks for having us. Thanks, Julien.
Thank you.
Dane.